Hi all, it's Barb coming to you from my living room. I was going to talk to you a little bit today about the Get Organized Challenge. I'll be right back. Just open my binder here. I had filmed one and I never posted it, so I'm just going to cover like the first maybe 3 steps of the challenge. Maybe I'll even do 4 because I'm supposed to post the 4th one tomorrow, so maybe I'll just try to go ahead and include that here. The first step is to watch the Plan to Get Organized, Set Yourself Up for Success video, which I will link my blog post here again because that gives the links to all of those different things, and I'll also try to add a little thing at the end that you can click on to bring you right to that video on YouTube. The next step is to create your year-long Get Organized Challenge notebook. This can be either physical or digital, and if it's physical, there's nothing to buy. You just have to print the stuff out and create your own notebook. Tiffany never created a physical one that you could order or anything. It was just by going to the link that you could save either on your computer so you had a digital copy, or you could print that out. That's how you get the physical copy, which is what I'm using. I also have it digitally. When I do my one digitally, I create a folder that says Get Organized Challenge, and then I create a subfolder for each topic within there, so that for the first one, the Set Yourself Up for Success, I can find everything in there, the handout for that video and the handouts about the 4-section system and other things, you know. I try to keep it all in one place on my computer. The next one is to create your big benefit board. Honestly, I've used a few different methods for that. You could even do this digitally if you wanted, though I suggest if you do it digitally to find a way maybe to have it be your background so that you see it every day. But I mean, you can just do a list like this where you list the topics and what you're taking for your reward, and you should also have your big benefit on there. See, mine starts out saying, my big benefit, this was for the 2nd challenge I ever did. It said, I'll be able to find things in my craft room and craft without frustration. And then I listed each week and my reward for that week. The big benefit is not a reward. It is, why are you doing this challenge? What are you hoping to accomplish by getting your craft supplies organized? I was going to say room, but not everyone has a room. He's joining me. Hi, Misty. This is my daughter's cat, Misty. She's very skinny because she has an overactive thyroid. But some people do take one, they do the small little rewards. Maybe they do something simpler for each, topic, and then they take one big reward at the end. You're more than welcome to do that, but you don't have to. It's just a reward for each. Here it's month. Also on your big benefit board, you're going to want to include your big benefit, as I said, and you're also going to want to determine a reward for each month. I've also done like a scrapbook page layout for my big benefit. I've done a single or double page. The last several challenges, I've just done a white dry erase board, which I think I have it for the 8-week challenge where I divided it into 8. I'll try to insert a picture of that in here. But I've redone that grid, and it has 12 sections, and because sometimes there's a 12-week challenge or 12-month challenge as I'm doing it, or an 8-week, and I figure if I can use it for the 8 or 12 with the 12 grids. I just have extra grids during the 8-week challenge. Your rewards, they can be things that you have to spend money on, or they can be things that you either don't have to spend money on or you don't have to spend much on. I did do a blog post about rewards. I will also try to link that in the information box. It focused on low to no cost rewards, which I'll kind of go over some of those here as well. But if you wanted to spend money, usually people don't have as much trouble coming up with those rewards. My first few challenges, during the first topic of set yourself up for success, when I finished that, I took paper storage as my reward because the next topic is paper. So that way when I started my paper, I had something to put my paper into. So you could tie it in that way, earn your craft organization, or you can do just anything you want. Go to a movie. I was going to say buy a CD. Nowadays, most people buy digital. I'm also old school. I like to have the physical one. I've seen too many cloud-based things go under, and then you don't have access to that stuff anymore, which is kind of crappy, but it's the way it is. But here's my list of rewards that cost little to nothing. I did post this in a blog post, and I will share that link in the description box. It might take me a little bit of time to get that the description box updated. I've been having trouble when I upload my videos. It even eliminates my titles, so I don't add a whole lot because I'm going to have to go in and retype it anyways. Because it's been replacing my titles with just the date. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. So, but anyways, some of these things you may or may not like, because if you don't read, you're obviously not going to want time to read a book. But that's one of them. Time to watch a favorite TV show or movie, a coffee, chai, matcha, whatever, like a fancy drink. They cost a little bit, but they're not outlandishly priced. You could go for under $10 and, get yourself coffee and maybe a little sweet treat to go with it, depending on where you're going. Time to spend with friends. That could be either calling them on the phone or going and actually visiting them, maybe going out for coffee with your friends. If you like ice cream, enjoy an ice cream cone or sundae. A favorite for me is I love McDonald's fries. I try to limit how many I have. Reward myself by having those fries. McDonald's sweet tea, which is another favorite of mine, and again, not best for you, so I try not to go overboard with it. A bubble bath, if you like that type of thing. Crafting time, either by yourself or with your children or grandchildren, depending upon age range, or neighbor kids, a walk in the park, or time in your garden or on a trail, whatever. A visit to a museum, library, gallery, whatever you enjoy doing. Taking the time to try a new craft or technique. Sometimes we want to try certain things and we put it off. Sometimes we even have the supplies for it and we just don't do it. Take the time to do it. Especially with paper crafting, it's paper. Yes, the cost adds up, but paper in itself isn't that expensive, and you can always use your cheaper paper to try your techniques. Maybe paper you don't actually like that's going to the purge pile. Use it to try the technique, and then once you've perfected it, you can use better supplies. The flashing here is because the fire station is right across the street, and either the ambulance or the fire truck just pulled back in. So if you see that, that's what that's from. Take a nap. Take your dogs for a walk. Play with your cat or whatever, your dog or whatever pet you have. Take time to just enjoy that. Relax with a pot of your favorite tea or whatever your beverage choice is. Have a home spa day. Do your hair, do your nails, whatever. Cuddle up with your cat. I like that one. Though my cat hasn't given me much choice on that lately. She's been very much fun in that time. And let's see. Did I get all those? There's more on the back. I put garden down again. I think the other one was supposed to be like go for a walk in your garden. Now that probably wouldn't work for most people right now, but maybe if you're doing the whole challenge, one of the months. Well, that's something I did for you. So you need a reward for each month you're participating in the challenge. If you're doing the whole thing, you need 12. But if you're fairly organized, but you think, my stamps, my dies, my paper, they need more work, so you're only going to do those months, or photos, whatever. Just choose for however many you're participating in. A day at the beach, again, another summary one. Go camping, and then scrap about that trip. Do a scrapbook page about that camping trip. Try a new recipe. If you like to cook, try a new recipe that you've never done before. Take a bike ride. Game night with your family. Take time to watch crafting videos or haul videos if you like them on YouTube. Sometimes I know I fall way behind in watching some of my favorite people. Use that as a reward. Then, you have to take your reward. Now, I know a bookstore or library was already on, but visit them by yourself. Give yourself some me time. Hold on, I have a bell going off. So there's somebody at my front door. Oh, it's the mailman. Sleep in. Take an hour away from your phone or computer. Now, I'm not real bad about always having my phone, or I do have spent a lot of time with my iPad, but I read on my iPad. I listen to books. I play games. I do a lot on my iPad. Eat lunch outside or away from your desk. Because how many of us are guilty of not really stopping work for lunch? And you shouldn't be donating that time to your employer. Trust me, they don't appreciate it. They start to expect it. Take a vacation day if you can. Buy a lottery ticket. And those are usually only a couple bucks, Try a new shade of nail polish if you wear nail polish. Go dancing. You can do that at home. Just put some music on and dance. Eat some Oreos or whatever your favorite treat is. Have some homemade chocolate chip cookies or bake some cookies if you like baking. Listen to your favorite CD or music. Start and work on a jigsaw, crossword, puzzle, word search if you like that type of thing. Play a game on your phone or your iPad. Look for craft ideals in Pinterest. or spend some time organizing your Pinterest board. Some of you might not view that as a reward, but it does help. And if you're reluctant to take rewards, I'm going to say they do help. They just give you that little endorphin kick, Tiffany says. But your rewards don't necessarily have to be for you, especially if you have young children, a spouse that doesn't like to give you that time to organize. Tie them into your rewards. If you give me time to organize, we'll do whatever their favorite activity is. You can take time, we can take time either together or even them on their own to do that. That way you can complete your homework without guilt. You don't want this to be something that you feel guilty about. You're doing it for yourself, yes, but me time is important. I'm learning that so much. Many of you may already know, my husband has dementia. I'm a caregiver. I am struggling. I don't feel I have the patience for this. The repetitive questions constantly they grate on my nerves. I'm sorry, they do. And my mother-in-law recently got put into a nursing home, and we visited her there, and I'm going to tell you, that place is awful. It's awful. And I'm like, I told my girls after we went, I'm like, I've got to start taking more time for me, because I don't want him to have to go into this type of thing until it's absolutely necessary. I know it may get to a point where we have to do that. So many people think of dementia as just the memory, and right now that's kind of where we are, but eventually, well, I do have to walk him through a shower because he can't remember the steps. I mean, you have to do that. Eventually, sometimes just using the bathroom becomes an issue for them. Somebody recently told me, oh, well, memory care is just basically keeping them from wandering off. And I'm like, most people don't go into a nursing home because they wander. They go into a nursing home because the person that's caregiving for them can no longer take care of all their needs. It's not just memory. Too many people think that, and I'll admit I used to think that too, but it is so much more than just memory. They forget how to do basic things to care for themselves. But I know that if I don't take care of me, I can't take care of him. Though I do have days where I think this is going to kill me long before it kills him. And eventually it does. It is eventually their cause of death. Sometimes it can be other things that come on as a result of it, but it's still, the dementia led to those things. But anyways, I got off topic there. Sorry about that. The next thing is to learn about the 4-section system. There's also a video on that I will link, and I'm going to try to write a better blog post about that, I think. That kind of goes over my 4-section system. But the 4-section system, in short, is alphabets and numbers. Punctuation and non-themed words are also included in that. Your themes, A to Z, these are determined by what you craft about. I'm going to say try to keep it to the topics you craft about. I have a few that aren't, because I have a shapes category, but I use that for cataloging. I mean, you don't have to, but I'm just going to explain my why for this. I try to keep my themes things that I craft about. If it's something that I'm going to add interest to the page, it's not really a theme to me. It's that those things are mainly going to go in rainbow for me, because I'm going to coordinate more based on color than I am by a theme. And then I don't have to flip my shape category. If I put everything in there that was already cut out, would become huge. So I do those by color. I do those by rainbow. But we have a lot of dies, even stamps, that are banner shaped or squares or circles or triangles. I represent those in my shape category so that I can easily think, oh, I wonder if I have a circle punch. I can go and put that. I should think about just cutting one out in white and writing it down, writing out what it is right on the shape and where that punch is found, so that if I go to my whites, I can always check my white section for any color I'm looking for and say, oh, I can do that in any color I want, because I do have a clear multi-section that I do for things that I can add my own color to as well. So just a tip there. The calendar year, and the reason Tiffany separates this is if you think about your seasons, fall's a good one. All right, you've got fall or autumn, whichever one you want to call it, that has leaves, pumpkins. These are going to vary depending on where in the world you're located, I suppose. But in general, for the U.S., I'll be speaking from that term, and I'm sure other countries are included there. But a pumpkin can be used on a Halloween page. It can be used on a Thanksgiving page. It could be used on just a fall page. Well, if you put those in your your themes A to Z, you're going to have fall in either F or A for autumn. You're going to have Halloween in the H's. You're going to have Thanksgiving in the T's. Well, you have to go flip. I say flip because I use a scrap rack. You have to script, but you have to go to that section. Well, those are going to be in different places. Whereas if you go fall, Halloween, Thanksgiving all together in one place, put your seasons in one place, you can go to your fall section. You just have to flip through a short section, hopefully. I mean, some of my winter section is out of control, but that's because Christmas and Valentine's are there. But you see what I mean? There's less places to search. And a lot of times I'll put a pumpkin under fall because I know to look for it in fall. Now, if it's cut out like a jack-o'-lantern, then I put it in in Halloween. My brain sometimes. And then there's rainbow, which is, if it doesn't fit a theme, calendar year, or alphabet, it goes in rainbow. And Tiffany with the alphabet suggests that you do it by size first and then color, because think about your projects. If you're doing a card, this would be kind of a big card, but you get the thing, and this is your card, you only have this much space. Well, you're not going to have room for a really huge alphabet there, because what you want to say wouldn't fit. You're going to want a smaller alphabet. So you're probably your project is going to determine the size of the alphabet that you're using, the letters that you're using. So she does it by size first. I do mine by size and then by color. And they're not exact, but I try to put similar ones together and then separate them down by colors. But that's kind of how that goes. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. So I might try to do a little video like this for every 3 or 4 pieces of homework. Maybe more depending on what they are, because some of them there's not as much to say about. But let me know if you find this helpful, and if you're finding the blog post helpful. I want to get better about using my blog, and this is kind of was the perfect opportunity to get back into it. That's all I've got to share about this topic. I'll be back soon. Thanks for joining me.